Welcome back to Spats Fish. A long time no see. I know I haven't had a lot of time to record any videos, but I've been actually recording a video. It just took me longer to make it, and you guys will see why in a second. But please enjoy the video, and this is kind of a tutorial, so we'll see how it goes. Alright, so I'm gonna do a little cleaning of algae in this tank. You guys can see I got some hair algae, some cyanobacteria algae, blue-green algae. This happens a lot in this tank just because I got sand. But I'm gonna manually remove the stuff that's on the wall back there, the hair algae. And then for you guys it'll be quick, but just wait till the end of this video and you'll see most of this algae will disappear. I promise you I will just take some of this hair algae off on the back wall, and I'm just using a scraper here. Yes, the piranhas get a little scared. So this hair algae, or the stuff that I'm getting off the back here, I'm gonna actually obviously just scoop it out. But the rest of the algae, I'll explain to you guys what I'm gonna do after it gets done. Alright, so yes, it's a little stirred up because, like I said, the piranhas are freaking out. But I got most of that hair algae off the back wall. You can probably still see some floating. I'll just grab that in a little bit. And then obviously there's hair algae on my plants. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shut this light off. That's all I'm gonna do. When I get back to the video, you guys will see most of this stuff will be gone. Most of the stuff on the actual glass, which you guys probably can't see right now. I mean, you see a little bit right here. That should be all gone. And I'll tell you later on in the video how long I let the light off. And the reason I get a lot of algae in most of my fish tanks, even this one, that one doesn't get too much, but this one gets it the worst, is because I run my lights way too long. I like to still see my fish, so obviously I'm gonna fix that in the future with that tank, with this tank. This tank doesn't get it too quick. I don't have enough lighting penetration to get it to the bottom, but I'm just gonna dial down my hours that the lights are on, and pretty much that's, you guys will see it in a second. For me, it's probably gonna be at least a week, if not 2. Alright, so while we wait, or while you guys wait for the rest of the video, I'll do a little feeding of the big tank. As always, I usually just do tilapia. And now I'm up to like 8 to 10 fillets every feeding, just because of all the red tails. These guys scarf down a lot of food, and so do the gars. Where's the other gar? I like to throw some pieces sometimes at the gars. And just like that, food's gone. All that will get eaten by somebody. So as remember, this one right here, that's Bruce. This is Chunk. You guys see why every time he eats, just swells up. And that's the new guy I picked up probably on the last video, I think. And they're all doing well. Definitely all eating. All right, so early in the video, you guys heard me talk about all I was gonna do is turn the lights off in here. The food, everything kept going. The piranhas are still in there. I did not change anything but leaving the lights off. And it's actually probably been about at least 2 weeks, maybe even 3. I already can tell that there's algae been cleaned up. I'm about to turn the light on for the first time. Obviously the piranhas are probably gonna get scared, so they're gonna move around a little. But I promise you guys, I did not do anything but leave the light off. And you can see, I actually was impressed because, let's take a closer look. It even got rid of the algae on the plants, which I did not have that luck before. Now obviously you can see the plants got melted, some of them melted away, but that's, you know, to be expected with no light. And these plants are actually pretty hardy. I don't even add any fertilizer in here. These plants just grow based on whatever waste is in there and lighting. So now obviously I'm gonna still do cleanup. You see a lot of this, just groups of, I have so many mystery snails and just bladder snails and all kinds of snails that obviously at some point came in with the plants. Sorry about the bubbles. I do gotta add water to this, but I haven't even added any or topped off any water since I did since I turned the lights off. I just didn't do any water change in those 2-3 weeks. And obviously now I'm gonna do a little bit of water change, clean up some of the melted plants, and get these guys, like I was saying before, I have to figure out the scheduling with these lights. As you can see, a lot of the lights on the other tanks, I have them off. I like to see the fish, like most of you do. But if you don't want to have algae problems, the less lighting is better as long as you don't have plants. Obviously these plants I knew were gonna melt away a little bit. I wasn't too worried. Like I said, I'll just trim them off and then just, you know, get the water parameters good, or keep the water parameters good. And maybe I'll do a little bit of fertilizing, but I don't need to. These plants come back pretty good. So like I was saying, is I just gotta get the scheduling on this lighting, which is just a Harbor Freight light. I am gonna eventually put a better one or a different one. And just maybe turn it on in the mornings, leave it off during the day, and probably turn it on in the evening around the time that I usually get home, just so I can see the fish. And then just obviously at night, around nighttime, I'll turn it off again. It's not gonna affect the fish. Most of the time, lighting for most fish tanks, this is all strictly for freshwater. Light for most freshwater fish tanks is not needed. It's more for our personal preference, so we can see the fish and enjoy them. So most people, I know a couple other aquarists that just keep their lights off unless it's feeding time, and some of them, you don't necessarily have to have them on for feeding time either. Like I said, I keep it on for feeding time just because I like to see the fish, make sure everyone's eating, make sure there's no residual food. Let's see if, I'm sure they've already eaten today, but I'm going to try to feed them and see if the piranhas will eat. Just for the video, not because they need it. So I usually just throw in carnivore pellets and they seem to love it. Well, I don't usually. Sometimes my wife does most of the time. If they don't eat it, they'll eat it later, so I'm not worried. But I'm actually happy to be able to fully see these piranhas. It sucked for like 2-3 weeks not being able to actually see them. I knew they were in there because I could see them moving around, but these guys are doing good. Obviously, I don't know if you can tell, but they're a little lighter colored now because of the lighting being off. But eventually they'll darken up a little bit just to try to blend in to the back wall essentially. Like I said, I just turned the light on, so they're a little different, acting a little weird. And not necessarily weird. It's just what happens when you turn the light on fish. But like I said, there was a little feeding. I think they got most of it. I'm not too worried. I think I explained it just in case I didn't. All I did was, like you can see maybe a little bit right here on the glass, the algae. I'm telling you, the only algae you guys seen me take off is I took the back wall, the hair algae that was in the back wall, which you guys probably can't see it, but there's none in the back wall. And remember that bacterial algae that I had on this? There's absolutely none. So like I said, I am gonna just vacuum a lot of these snails out. I don't care about the snails. And nobody eats them. None of my other fish eat them, so I'll just vacuum some of them out. They just reproduce anyways. And then just clean this, give it a water change, fill it back up, and keep track of my lighting. But that's really all I did. I didn't do crazy water changes. I mean, this tank's established, so a water change wouldn't hurt it. But a lot of people, they start seeing green, or they get green water, which is algae in the water column. They start doing water changes. That's actually most of the time, if it's a new tank especially, or fresh tank, it's bacterial bloom, just dirty water and stuff like that. But just try to keep an eye on your parameters with that situation. When I'm talking about when your water looks like it's just algae and you can't see through it, try to prevent doing water change. Just keep an eye on your parameters, and if you have to do a water change, do it. But the trick with the light also works for that situation too. Keep your light off. Sometimes a lot of people will have to cover their tank everywhere because they get outside lighting, or even lighting from my other tanks, obviously. This was just me turning this light off in this tank. That one came on every day, and the rest of these tanks did too. Obviously the outside lighting, it doesn't affect me too much, but that was just me turning off this light. All right, so I hope you guys learned something in this video. It was kind of a lazy video for me because I really didn't have to do anything. I was just trying to prove to you guys, and I promise you, you guys haven't seen me post in a while, and I promise you that whole time I was just waiting, just with the light off on this tank. But I call it lazy because, like I said, I just recorded myself. I didn't really have to do anything besides turn the light off, and I just turned it back on. And I'm gonna turn it back off as soon as I'm done with this video. But you don't have to do much. Now, sometimes you do have to manually get in there. You know, some of this algae is stubborn, but you don't have to do much. A lot of times they just suffocate the algae by just removing the light. Now, if you have planted tanks, you really have to just, you have to manually try to remove from a lot of things, but obviously still trying to maintain your plants that are in there. I haven't had too much luck with planted tanks as far as just removing algae. Algae a lot of times comes, and I don't know if I explained it earlier, but algae comes from too much waste in the water or anything, you know, just water, sand, whatever. Too much waste there. And the plants aren't able to take it in because the algae is suffocating it. Now, you suffocate the algae with lighting, then the plants or your filtration, you know, or your bacterial filtration in your filters, whatever, that'll take over and take care of most of your waste. Just clean up the waste. You know, I usually don't clean up after, like I said, just because I know some other fish is gonna clean it up. Now, if it sat there for 2-3 hours, I'm taking it out, but I don't need to. Like this tank, same thing. I just fed them a bunch. There's nothing as far as leftover food. Any poop and stuff like that, this tank is pretty well about getting rid of it. This tank, same thing. I'll just do like a quick water change, just vacuum some of this stuff at the bottom. But they don't produce a lot of waste. I got good filtration. Same thing with this one. This one's got a sump, and you can see there's algae on this front window where the light is. I put a cheap light in this because my original light went out, gave up on me. But just in this section where the actual lighting is where the algae is. But that one I just clean the glass every once in a while. Same thing, vacuum. I have a lot of different fish in here that you guys might have seen before. I just kind of put them all in one tank. They're all doing good. There's the starry night there. And everyone else is doing good. I think I put some Siamese algae eaters, and they're doing good in there. Here's some of my original guys. I did have that pike cichlid in here that I picked up, but he ended up eating one of my, or trying to eat one of my blue jack Dempsey's. So now I have two, the other one's hiding. But I removed the pike cichlid and put them in with the stingrays. Obviously I don't have any issues with that. He's right there. I don't have any issues with them. And then in a future video I'll show you guys, I did pick up another one of these. You kind of can see it. If you can't, just wait for the next video. So thanks for watching, guys. Please comment on the section. Just tell me what you want to see. Sometimes I scratch my head just thinking about what can I record. I could record everything, but I think some of it will be too boring. Like I could put this recording for 2 weeks just waiting for that algae to die, but that's pointless. Just give me some tips. Anything you think I should have done or anything you have questions about, just comment below. And like the video and subscribe, please. I still got a lot of people that I know watch the videos and aren't subscribed. So please subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.